नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदयाम्बुधाम्ने नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य स्वाराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते हरि So briefly the main points we discussed yesterday. One thing I said that the real happiness comes from transcending so-called happiness and unhappiness in favorable and unfavorable situations. That is, generally we are happy when the situations are favorable, we are unhappy when the situations are unfavorable. If you extend it further, you will find that we are unhappy even when the situations are favorable, because we are anxious or thinking of the unfavorable situations which may come. We become worried. We are in a perfectly favorable situation, but I may have to face something unfavorable. That thought also makes us worried, and many people suffer from that. So when the real happiness comes from transcending this so-called happiness-unhappiness duality is what we studied in Bhagavad Gita, that ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indreshcharan atma bhashair vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. This transcendental state is called prasada, state of prasada. We only know of food prasada or some material prasada. The real prasada is not that. The real prasada, when you go to a saint or a knower, the real prasada is to get the touch and some transmission of this transcendental state. You will find that when you go to a real saint, automatically your mind calms down. You may come with hundreds of questions, but generally the questions will all get dissolved. A peace dawns. That is the prasada. That mind, we think that the mind is encapsulated by the body only. It's not so. It is a cosmic mind in which all are interflowing into them. Suppose when we are reading these texts and all, suppose we are reading Viveka Chodamani, is not Shankaracharya's mind part of it coming into us? When we are singing Rabindranath songs, is not Rabindranath's part of his philosophy, his mind coming into us? So we feel that my mind is only encapsulated. It's not like that. Whenever we are interacting, it is an intermix of the different minds taking place. If you stay with an agitated person for long hours, you will find you are also getting agitated. If you stay with a peaceful person, you will find your mind is also becoming peaceful. So the real prasada is this transcendental placidity, which people are supposed to get when they visit a saint. That is the real. The other thing is only you can say that it's a vehicle with which it is shown that he wants to give. That's it. Would you like to chant? Somebody was saying that why don't you make others chant, they will be happy. But I generally don't have time. I feel that always the time is short to explain. Would you like to chant this verse, or you can do it yourself? Ragadvesha viyuktaistu Vishayan indriyaischaran Atmavashair vidheyatma Prasadam adhigacchati. Ragadvesha viyuktaihi. Yukta means connected to, viyukta means disassociated from ragadvesha. One who is free from ragadvesha. Ragadvesha he explained in detail yesterday, that clinging to what we like is raga, and hating or intolerant about what we dislike is dvesha. One who has transcended this duality, raga, dvesha, Vishayan indriyeshcharan, Atmavashaihi, vidheyatma, prasadam, adhigacchati. He attains prasada. Prasada is the state of mind, which we are saying that it is not the elation in a happy, favorable situation or a depression in a suffering situation. In both the situation, he is Atmavash. That also I have explained yesterday in detail, that he is not Vishayavash is the word I used. That is, we are slave to the world, objects and worldly situations. He is no more slave. That means he has so much of self-seatedness that in any situation of the world, he can remain unaffected. He can challenge the world that put me under any situation you like, the most difficult situation, the calamitous situation. I won't mind. You come, I will absorb you, I will take you. That as the level goes up, it will be like that. Initially, you will find that whatever used to affect me earlier, it is not affecting so much anymore. It starts with that. But as you proceed further, you will not think of it at all. Even the hardest situation, very difficult, calamitous situation also, everything will be an opportunity to course through it and get more and more enriched. That means whether the situation is favorable or unfavorable or challenging, everything he will consider as an enrichment to him. Because the mind will grow further and further coursing through that. Actually, when we say that self-realized and knower, it is not that he doesn't grow anymore. These are all misconceptions we have. If there is no growth anywhere, then the life becomes quite stale. He may be peaceful with the self. He may be completely satisfied with that. But for such a person also, in every situation there will be further growth. Suppose when a guru has to guide a new disciple means he will come with his new questions, new kinds of problems. To guide him properly is a growth for the further growth for the guru. We should not think that he has become knower, so everything is done in life. It's not so. Our Vedas say, Charaiveti, Charaiveti. You should never stop. Even the fulfillment, see, it is not a material fulfillment. The fulfillment we talk about is when you don't want anything at all from the world. That generally our desire, I explained yesterday, that we want something from the world thinking that it will make me happy. When we understand that the happiness is our own coordinate, our own inmost coordinate, will we anymore look for happiness from the world? We will behave in the world, we will interact with the world, but not thinking that this will make me happy. But what happens is that in such a case also, the person can grow. The growth can never stop. Suppose a tank, small tank, when you fill it with water, you call it full, is it not? You increase the capacity of the tank and put more water, it will be full. You make it into a pond, still more water you put, it will be full. You make it into a lake, you can add still more water to make it full. It will remain full always. As the water is more, it will increase its capacity and it will remain full. So if even a fulfilled person, his capacity, his growth, it never ends. If he should be in a dynamic state of increasing, ever growing, always remaining fulfilled. So these are some concepts I am just telling that these are not generally spoken of, not generally available. So we develop some misconceptions. There is growth for everybody. It never stops. Self-realization is not an end. So, he Atmavash, he no longer remains slave to the world because his happiness does not depend on anything gaining from the world. His happiness, he knows that it is always welling forth from within, from his inmost identity. So he becomes Atmavash. That means he is always connected to the Atma. He is no longer under the control of the situation, worldly situation or worldly gains and losses. Vidheya Atma, he doesn't follow any rule outside. He goes by his own inward guidance. That whatever to be done, he feels auspicious, he goes on doing. Prasadam adhigacchati. Now the second point, go back to the second slide again. The earlier slide. So this is the first point which we have given, the Bhagavad Gita 2.64 and 65. So you can learn that. The second point we dealt with is we are born with abhava bodha or insufficiency. Because of we lack something, we look for happiness. Otherwise, why should we look for happiness? If we are fulfilled already, then we won't look for anything. So there the desire comes because we are suffering from the lack of happiness. There is a lack within, we feel. So we look for something which will make us full. And there is a delusion also we're born with, that we think that something from the world will make me happy. So we run after the worldly gains and getting something from the world. For that we work, thinking that this will make me happy. But when whatever we do, it doesn't result in happiness, then we become depressed. So happiness doesn't come alone, it comes with depression also. Both go on. So we act means we activate ourselves. We act thinking that we will become happy as a result of whatever we are doing. But because the result is not always favorable, we feel unfulfilled by whatever we do. So the desires never end. It goes on changing from one place to another. This is what we discussed in great detail yesterday. So it is not only a sense of lack, sense of insufficiency, but a delusion also, which makes us run after what we like and run away from what we dislike. That goes on, the whole play goes on like that. Generally we say that we suffer because of ignorance. In Sanskrit we say ajnana, ignorance. Now ignorance has got two aspects of it. Generally we compare with the two fangs of the cobra. That means they put us into trouble. What are they? One is called Avarana Shakti, another is called Vikshepa Shakti. The two powers of ignorance. One is covering up, Avarana means covering up, and the other is distracting power, distracting our mind. That Avarana or covering up is, it makes us forget that we are universal in our real identity, that I am not the small I limited by the body-mind personality. That the whole universe is actually appearing in that I, which I always refer to as I, not knowing its dimension. I think that the I is small. Actually, it is not small. It is universal. Universal means the universe actually an appearance in that consciousness. This we forget. When the Atma or the consciousness manifests as any body, with the association of the body, we forget our original state. That is why it's called ignorance. It is a cover. And the moment our universality is covered, we become small, is it not? The moment that we are everything, that knowledge is gone, that knowledge is covered, we start thinking, I am small, I have to gain this, I cannot lose this, I don't like that person, I don't like, or that other person I like. All these things are happening from the concept of smallness ourselves. Is there any doubt about it? If the person whom I am not liking, we start feeling that it is I am, what I am, will you have the hatred or intolerance towards him? Suppose when the hand becomes troublesome, there is some gout or anything and all, would you just like to cut off your hand? It is giving you trouble. But if it is your friend or colleague or so, you want to cut him out from your life. Because in the case of the hand, it is mine. In the other case, we don't consider it to be mine. You can extend this example to any extent. Now, so the moment we feel I am small, my mind runs after the likes and runs away from the disliked things, and the running around goes on. So these are the two powers, we say, of the ignorance of ajnana, the two powers of ajnana. So there are two ways of dealing with it. Why I am saying our object is to know how we can become happy. We can really become happy, the transcendental happiness comes when this ajnana is removed. As long as we remain with our constricted smallness, small identity, the transcendental happiness will not dawn. So we have to deal with the ajnana. To remove the ajnana, we learned this about the Atma and all. It is only jnana, that is called jnana, or the knowledge. So knowledge is, this knowledge, the spiritual knowledge is not like the other knowledge. Suppose we learn about the watch, I can make watch, I can create the watch, I can improve it also. But I will not become the watch. Will I become the watch by making a watch? That is knowledge of the world. All scientific knowledge, any knowledge is like that. By knowing that, by absorbing the knowledge, we don't become that. But in spirituality, we deal with the knowledge of our own self. Our own Atma means our own real identity. What is our identity? So more and more we absorb that knowledge, we become that. Whatever we are studying about the Atma, we more and more we come closer and closer to that, we become that, we more and more become that. So what happens is the jnana, as we absorb and we become more and more conversant with the jnana, we absorb the jnana, start living the jnana, living the knowledge, that knowledge deals with the ajnana or the ignorance. So jnana removes the ajnana. Then what remains? I remain what I am. The real identity remains. That is neither jnana nor ajnana. It is just like a cloud has covered the sun. You are not able to see the sun. Are you going to create the sun? Or remove the sun, remove the cloud, the sun becomes visible. Sun no longer is hidden. Like that, the cloud of ignorance we have to remove by constantly doing, we call it meditation, contemplation, thinking, manana, nididhyasana, whatever the sadhana is, that we try to absorb the knowledge more and more and more to remove the ignorance. When the knowledge removes the ignorance, the sun becomes visible. That is why this self-knowledge we don't have to make or we don't have to gain, nothing. We have to only remove the ajnana by the jnana, then whatever we are, it becomes manifest. We come to know. So it is called smriti. In Bhagavad Gita you will find in the last few verses, smritir labdha, nashto moha smritir labdha. That is, after listening to Sri Krishna, Arjuna is saying, I have got back my smriti. Smriti means memory. It is not here saying that I have got back, I have not got back, I have gained something. No. I have got back my memory of what I am, really. Because I am not creating the Atma. Atma is what it is. Even now also, it is what it is. We don't have to change the Atma at all. We have to only purify our mind and intelligence, make them enlightened so that they now come to know who am I. The I becomes fully realized by the mind and intelligence. All that we do in the name of sadhana, we don't do anything with the Atma. Atma can never be changed. Atma is not an objective thing that you can change it. Consciousness you cannot see or know anywhere at different from you. You can know the consciousness of the Atma only as amness, as I am. Anything different from me is known by me. That who is knowing, the subject is the Atma, not which is known. Which is known is always object, which is always inert. So, this is what happens, that when we remove the ignorance by this knowledge, then our real identity we come to know. And there is no question of further dukkha at all. Because sukha dukkha is coming from something missing, something gaining. There is no question of gaining or missing because you are universal. Everything is within you, you are in everything. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna. Or sarvabhutastham atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. 6th chapter, 29th verse. Sarvabhutastham atmanam. He realizes that I am there in all the bhuta, everywhere. Nothing can be there. Why? Because we don't know of anything in the world which does not appear in our consciousness. To know anything, there might be so many other bacteria and so many. Are you knowing them? To know anything, does it not have to appear in our mind? Otherwise, will you know anything? Anything, the whole universe we are knowing only when it is appearing in our mind. That is why we don't know it when we are sleeping. Even in dream also we are not knowing. We are knowing the world my mind has created in dream. But the outer world we are not knowing. Who is there in the room we are not knowing while dreaming. I am in my own world created by my own mind. So, this is what it is to transcend the smallness is necessary to become permanently happy, to reach that happiness, happy state which is beyond all small, happy, joy and dukkha. Then the third point is, go back to this. The fact is, joy is a parameter of our own real identity. We miss it because out of delusion we run after other things for joy. This I have discussed in great detail yesterday. That joy, it is always there within me, but not knowing that we run after things, run away from things, that I will become joyous by my actions. But it never happens. We never become permanently joyous by that. Now, what is happiness? Yesterday also I discussed the state of Samadhi in meditation. That means when there are no thoughts, no world at all. Or that state of sleep. Both are very, very enjoyable. In Samadhi, we come to know, we are aware of the state, we are able to remember the state. It is our buddhi and mind, everything is wakeful in that state. In sleep state, because the mind is sleeping, the buddhi is sleeping, that state we are not coming to know. So there is nothing so great in Samadhi, except that we come to know what is that state. It's a wakeful sleep, you can say. That state we are having every day, every night. But we are not able to know that it is. To know that, we have to, without falling asleep, we have to have the same state when the buddhi is not sleeping, the mind is not sleeping, the indriyas, the sense organs are not sleeping. All are awake but not functioning. Suppose you are now sitting, the legs are not moving, but they can move. But in sleep, you will not be able to move the leg. But now you can move the leg. Similarly, in sleep, your mind will not function. It will not be able to function. But if you can silence the mind as not functioning but not falling asleep. In Kathopanishad it is said, Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhishchana vicheshtati tam ahu paramam gatim. Tam paramam gatim ahu. That is called the ultimate state or the most exalted state. Paramam gatim. Which is that Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhishchana vicheshtati. It is not there in the screen, so you need not look at the screen. When all the 5 sense organs are silent, not functioning, but not sleeping also, they are all there. Manasa saha, even the mind also is not thinking anymore, but not asleep. They are all alert. Buddhishchana vicheshtati, even the buddhi, which is always effortful to know. What happens is that when you are trying to meditate also, in some deep state, when something different is, that buddhi will say, oh, is it that? Is it the samadhi? Gone. It cannot happen because the buddhi is still effortful. You have to completely surrender the effort of all aspects of our personality. So that is what they are saying. Then buddhi, mind, when the indriyas, the mind, the buddhi, all are silent, but they are not asleep. Tamahu paramam gatim. That is the supreme state. So the most foolish state, when nothing of your faculties are functioning, that is the most enlightened state. That is generally called the alert. That is the real attention. Because we come to know what is the truth. That the whole world is just an appearance on the consciousness. What is it? We come to know. So, when one knows it, what we are saying in this, what is happiness? A fulfilled state of the mind when we don't want anything. So, is it not a happy state? Because you don't want anything, it is a fulfilled state. But that can be a zero state, as in sleep. It is a zero state when there is no thought, nothing, no growth, nothing. And in Samadhi also, there is no mind, no thought, no intelligence, nothing. It is just a zero state. So this can be a happy state, and most of the spiritualists, they consider it to be the happiest state. As just now I uttered the sloka, it is the happiest state. So people think that the Samadhi is the last state of spiritual attainment or so. And they repeatedly go into Samadhi. They remain in Samadhi. But there is, suppose the state is not a silent state like that, when there is no thought or nothing. This state tells you that sleep as well as meditation tells you that when there is no thought about the world, no thought of objects, then you are happy. Is it not? Then you are fulfilled. Then you should think for that, do the vichara, the discrimination. Then what is the cause of our being non-happy? That means the moment the world is coming to our mind, world will remain the world. You cannot do anything with the world. Let us not blame the world. When the world is appearing in our mind, how are we reacting to that appearance? How are we thinking about the world? That is causing all the trouble. You think about your world, why that person spoke to me like this? Today again I have to face my boss, he will be shouting at me, when can I leave this job and go to other job? This is all you are thinking about the world. Or where I will get the best food, this, that and all that. Either plus or minus, we are always thinking about the world. So the moment the world comes to our mind, we lose our happiness. Whenever we are getting up from sleep, whether it is dream or wakeful, the multiplicity is there in both cases. We are not happy anymore. In deep sleep, when there is no thought of the world, we are happy. The moment the thought of the world comes, either in wakefulness or in dream, we become unhappy. Are you getting this, or it is becoming? I am trying to speak in a simple manner. I could have spoken in the normal spiritual manner also. Only you have to face reality. That is where you find problem. You don't want to accept reality. Generally, we will have a reluctance to accept the reality. That we will always question, are we so foolish? Yes, we are foolish, let us accept. We are not thinking. No? We are foolish in this. In this path, we are foolish. Because we are not thinking, we are not seeing the world as it is. We are not seeing our own self as we are. So, we have to understand that it is our thoughts about the world which is making us unhappy. So simply change the thoughts about the world. Always be very loving, very considerate, very concerned about others, or the loving and sacrificing of others. Fill the mind with good thought, noble thought, all-embracing thought. Will we not feel very happy? So one is a zero state of happiness when there are no thoughts. Another is a positive state of happiness when there are good thoughts, noble thoughts, loving thoughts, all-embracing thoughts. So clearly there is a difference in the choice of the people, of the seekers who walk the spiritual path. Most of the people take to the zero path. They feel, that's all what we have and that's all what we want. They remain there. Whereas those who are given to knowledge, they will get into, if they get into the Samadhi, once, first time Samadhi, it's a revolutionary experience, because never in life you have experienced this consciousness. So they become overwhelmed with it, that our Shastras, various expressions are there, overwhelming expression. That is the first time. Then they may have repeatedly. Those who are really sincere sadhak, they will have repeatedly. Others will not have, because once this comes, they have the bliss of it, as we are discussing the bliss. So next day they will look for the bliss, not for the transcendental thing. That day I got the bliss. So again the bliss, again the bliss. So you have again become selfish and looking for something. Earlier you were looking for joy in the world, now we are looking for joy in meditation. The same problem continued. Are you understanding our foolishness? So, we will again look for that. That is making us small. We are again wanting something from outside or from somewhere else other than me. As long as we look for that, it will not happen. Because this happening takes place when we are out of this smallness. To get to that, we have to surrender that wish also, that bliss also. As long as we are seeking bliss, seeking joy, it will not happen. Now, those who are serious sadhak, they will have it. But they will think in a different manner. If a number of times they have it, then they will think that what is this? Every day I am getting into the same samadhi. It is the same state, zero state, and coming back again I am working in the world. Is that all? Or can we not change our wakeful world also by knowing whatever we have known in samadhi? That is application of the experience of the samadhi or meditation in the living world. To apply that in the living world, can we not change our wakeful world? And why the nature has given us all these faculties? The nature has given us the body, has given us mind, given us buddhi, only to keep them silent. Suppose you got the samadhi at the age of 24 or so, and you are going to live another 50 years. So 24 years you use the faculties given by nature, and 50 years you don't use them, keep them silent. Is it a wise decision? And how is it that only in meditation I am getting into that? And the moment I am away from the meditation, I am again having the dukkha, again I am losing the bliss there. But the Shastra, the scriptures, they constantly tell us about a state which never changes. We are trying to attain the imperishable, unchangeable, unchanging Atma or soul. This is also we are using soul here. You asked that dinner. So, what is that unchanging thing? When I will not lose happiness at all. When we'll, in suffering, in so-called happiness also, I will remain constant. So there is something which doesn't undergo these changes at all. The mind is undergoing the change in sukha, dukkha, anger, this, that and all. But I am not the mind, the Atma on which all these things are happening, but the Atma never gets affected. So they will look for a state where they will function in the world, but not getting affected by the world. That is what they say, ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyascharan atmavasyair vidheya atma prasadam adhigacchati. So if we can win over our clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike, then we will be able to live with a placid state of the mind in the wakeful state also. A fulfilled state of the mind when we don't want anything, it is fulfilled, but it is a zero state, when there is no thought, no intelligence, nothing is functioning. Or the fulfilled state where, in spite of being free of any want, that is, the lack is no more there. Love, concern, sympathy, sacrifice for others will overflow. That is why Bhagavad Gita repeatedly says, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. If one has become fulfilled, will he work then? The question always comes, will he do anything? Because we know of only desire-motivated action. We do always motivated by desire. So if the desires are not there, will he do anything? Yes, he will do. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. He will do whatever he has gained. Others are suffering. He finds that others are suffering. Let me share if I can relieve them of their suffering. If they get relieved of, not I can, but they relieved of their suffering. That makes them work. And they have certain faculties, either they will write book or they will write interpretations or they will speak. Whatever they can do, whatever nature has provided them the faculties, they will use them in the manner. Because not using them or using them, it doesn't mean anything for him. The truth remains truth. Whether the Atma writes something, Atma will not write. The body writes something or not write something. Nothing happens to the Atma. He finds that the imperishability, unchangeability of his own identity. So, the fulfilled state where in spite of being free of any want, love, concern, sympathy, sacrifice for others will overflow. So, I have tried to define the true state as one is a fulfilled but a zero state. Another is a fulfilled but overflowing, not only fulfilled, it is overflowing, whatever is there, overflowing positive state. So, which we would like to have as your ideal? This is a question put to you. If normally I have, the way I have put it, all of you will says the second one. But actually what happens, all of them goes to the first one. Because they are not given to opening up and embracing the whole world. So people are given to meditation. I have raised this topic only to save you from this misconception. They only meditate. In the process they become more selfish, more self-centered, not worrying about the world at all. It's not the way. We should freely flow. If the container gets filled, it will automatically overflow because of his oneness with the whole universe. That oneness makes the everything act. Now, a little detail of the fulfilled zero state. That is the first meditative state. You can say sleep, but sleep you don't come to know. So let us take the Samadhi state, which is the pinnacle of meditation. Meditation normally in Vedantic or Upanishadic meditation, the aim is Samadhi. When Samadhi is at, then the aim changes. Because Samadhi also is a state. When you are out of Samadhi, Samadhi is no more there. But you are wanting to attain something which is unchangeable, which is imperishable, which is true of all state. So then it can be had only through knowledge, not through meditation. So, fulfilled zero state is, the people generally want to remain lost in the Samadhi. And you will find in caves, in forest, in many places, in household also, people are repeatedly trying to get into meditation and aiming for Samadhi. If somebody is fortunate to have it, they want to have it repeatedly. This is the case. Now, bliss in meditation, successful meditation leads us to no thought, no world state. If the meditation you are getting the bliss when you have forgotten about the world. Otherwise you won't get this bliss. When you have forgotten of the world, when we are saying, we have forgotten about our individual personality also, individuality also. When everything is forgotten, then the Atma or the consciousness reigns. That is the blissful state. Now, there also, after you have, somebody had this, they don't think, they have to think that I got this bliss when there was no world in my mind. Then, where lies the trouble? The moment I get out of the Samadhi, again the world comes and again I am disturbed. I want to go into the Samadhi again and again. I want to remain in Samadhi if it is possible. That means something to do with again I am coming back to that point, something to do with our thoughts about the world. In our mind, as we are thinking about the world, there is something wrong. We are not thinking correctly about the world. We are thinking about the world only in terms of our likes and dislikes, clinging to our likes and hating or being intolerant about our disliked things. Initially, the meditational success or the Samadhi is overwhelming because it is a new discovery, it's a revolutionary discovery. But still, it is a zero state. As you go again and again in the same state, it's a zero state. Whereas the next overflowing, This is the overflowing positive state which you are calling. This is the knowledge-oriented seeker will always think, what is the point in getting every day in the Samadhi state? If he is successful in Samadhi, then also. How to be successful in Samadhi, I will tell. But if he is successful, this is what. Nature has given man the faculties. Whether we do something or don't do anything with the body-mind personality makes no difference from the standpoint of truth. The truth, the whole world is only appearing. Whether you do or you don't do, it doesn't matter at all. When you think that I am not doing anything also, the doership is there. That is why you think that I am not doing. When you feel that I do something or I don't do something, both are same. The doership is there. There comes the problem. The final state is getting over that doership and enjoyship. When you are having the I am enjoying something, sukha, or suffering something, dukkha, that enjoyship and sufferership, you are identifying with yourself. There comes the problem. So it is to get out of the transcend the doership and enjoyship, which contains the knowledge. Though through doing something, a knower also grows. This is I have already discussed from tank to the pond to the lake dimension. That is when you don't do anything, you don't grow. After attaining Samadhi, if you don't remain active in the world, there is no further growth. It is fine. You have attained, you remain peaceful, you are fulfilled. That is fine. Most of the cases it is like that. But normally a knower will always think that by remaining that, why nature has created me? Created this body-mind personality. He may not think me, that this body-mind personality is supposed to function in nature in its own natural manner. And it will be only welfare of the world. The body-mind personality will do only good things for the world. So fill the mind with noble thoughts. When do we have bliss? When the world, including our individual I, is forgotten in meditation or in deep sleep. So the trouble is in what we think about the world. The trouble goes if we can attenuate our raga dvesha, that is the clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike. If that clinging goes, which Bhagavad Gita repeatedly refers as Sangha, 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 that is the discovery of Bhagavad Gita. That all the problems are finally directed to Sangha. We have to get rid of the Sangha to remain joyful in the world, doing everything. Now, what is the bliss in having right thoughts? If the mind is filled with loving, expansive, all-embracing, noble and benevolent thoughts, is it not a positive, fulfilling state? See, normally when you are wanting to meditate, you have known that the meditation means becoming thoughtless. That almost everybody knows. They want to become thoughtless because in Yoga Sutra it is given that yoga chitravitti nirodha, that it is thoughtless state. So you want to become thoughtless. Now, why do you want to become thoughtless? Because you are not happy with the thoughts. It's a very simple logic. Try to understand it. Why do we want to become thoughtless? Because we are not happy with the thoughts the mind is having. But if you have a really fulfilling thoughts, noble thoughts, very, very powerful thoughts of loving and embracing the whole world, from such a state, would you like to go to the zero state of meditation? Meditation is not necessary anymore. Meditation is only to know what is my real state. Once you are happy with the thoughts, that is, see, I am a scientist. I am bringing it down to the same point again and again, that we are troubled by the world because we are thinking wrongly about the world. Start changing our thoughts about the world. We are hosting wrong thoughts about the world, which are all based on raga dvesha. That is the discovery of Bhagavad Gita. So eliminate the raga dvesha, have loving thoughts about the whole world, for the saint as well as for the criminals also. You won't become criminal, you are not going to call the criminal to your house, but There is no harm in loving the criminal and understanding why did he become criminal. If I had been in his position, perhaps I would have become criminal. No hatred, no intolerance will be there anymore. That is why a criminal also will come to a saint, confessing everything, saying that, looking for solace. It happens. So the trouble is in what we think about the world. The trouble goes if we can attenuate raga dvesha. Go to the next. Oh no, 7th is we are there. If the mind is filled with loving, expansive, all-embracing, noble and benevolent thoughts, is it not a positive, fulfilling state? Will you prefer to go into meditative zero state? For a seeker? Now, this is what I am talking about, a seeker who has attained certain success, who has attained the Samadhi in meditation. I am not generally to discuss that because most of the people will not be able to relate to that. But I have something with everybody should be able to relate. You may not have Samadhi, but can you not change your thoughts right now where you are? That nobody can say no. You try to change your thoughts, replace the blaming thoughts, constricted thoughts, desireful thoughts by all good thoughts, noble thoughts, loving thoughts. By that what will happen? The mind will become peaceful, self-seated, pure. And in a pure mind, Samadhi will dawn automatically. Samadhi doesn't have to be done by people. We are mistaken in that. We struggle to have Samadhi. Meditation, dhyana, it dawns. In a pure mind, it simply dawns. So, we are attaining two goals together. One is, even if you have the meditational success, you are defeated in the world. Because in the wakeful state, you are not happy. In this case, you are trying to change the wakeful state. You can practice meditation along with that. But the complete transformation of the wakeful state will bring in Samadhi or meditation automatically when you sit for meditation. Because a pure mind will not be disturbed. It will automatically simply converge and get dissolved in the soul, in the Atma. So rather than struggling to attain Samadhi in meditation or a thoughtless state in meditation and remaining the same person in the wakeful state, is it not a more wise and proper effort? This is what I wanted to explain properly today. If you have understood, I will be very happy that we don't have to defer our sadhana by thinking the aim is too far. Oh, Swamiji, whatever you say is so difficult. It is not difficult. We can start right today in our own small manner and nothing will go in vain. Bhagavad Gita clearly says, Neha na iha abhikramanashavo asti pratyabhayona vidyate. That in yaga, jajna, worship, you are looking for something in the heaven. That after the body falls, you will get this, get that. Whether you will get or not, nobody can ever prove or anything. Some belief, faith is there, it will happen. And you are doing something and in the process something goes wrong, say you lose everything. Those are all mentioned. You make some mistake in ritualistic yaga, jajna, all the benefits are gone. In this case, it is not so. Because every moment you try to do the purificatory process, apply the purificatory process in your mind and buddhi, it is a gain which is never to be lost. Suppose you are always looking for love from somebody, small, small love. Have you ever thought that why do we like to have love from others? What is actually pleasing us? What is actually giving us the joy? Is it the love coming from a person or is it love as an emotion which is pleasing us? The person is outside. What is generated in my mind is the feeling of love. is not that feeling of love is fulfilling us. Nobody is known. Is there any doubt about it? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells in so many sentences again and again and again, the husband doesn't like the wife, does not love the wife because of the wife, but because of he loves for his own Atma, the feeling of it. The father doesn't love the child because of the child, but because the love for the child fulfills him. Everywhere, love is the feeling of love that is generated in our within. That is fulfilling us. So the simple solution you cannot deny, you have to practice. Start loving everybody, everything. When you generate the love from within, you will always remain fulfilled. Why should you look for those nasty loves, chota mota, small. They let them love or not, doesn't matter. I will fill everybody, the whole world with my love. Can I not do it? Oh, Swamiji, it is difficult. I cannot do anything if you say difficult. A person who is abusing you also, you love him, you will find that there is so much of joy in loving an enemy. You do it and see. All these things have to be lived. You have to practice. Suppose you are having a difficulty with your boss or with your employee, and you have developed a tension and stress in between. One day you go and hug and appreciate. Anybody will have some good qualities, will not? Is there a person who does not have any good quality? Any good emotion? So find out those good qualities, hug him and tell him those, appreciate his qualities. You will find the whole relationship will undergo a change. You don't have to hate your people who hates you. You can love them also. So knowing that love is an emotion and which fulfills us, we should love others, not looking for love in a small manner. What happens by that? Our mind becomes free. The constrictions, the stresses we suffer from, everything we do in the name of spirituality, it is releasing, it is giving us freedom from the stress, freedom from the constriction. If it doesn't do, I am going the wrong way. If it constricts our mind, then I am not doing the sadhana properly, I am walking the other way. Similarly, I have not shown the slides. You just read it out, okay. The next 8. Understanding the reality of love. What gives us joy is love itself. Then, rather than looking for love from others, love everybody. The mind will be vibrant with love, radiating love. It will radiate love. You will find the Jagadeva Nandanavanam. The whole world will become a grove of joy. Next. See, this is, I have discussed many times in Malaysia also, I want to repeat. Let us take first an example. Suppose, listen to the story, if you have listened earlier also, again listen to it, that is the way I will transmit. Suppose a person has lost everything. He has lost his building, maybe some war or calamity or whatever is the reason. He has lost his job, he has lost his property, building, he has lost his relatives. He is standing on the street losing everything and he is wailing and crying that what has happened to me, why, etc. As we do generally. Now, the question in this case is, he has lost. Can he walk back in time? He cannot walk back in time. He can regain. I am not saying that he should not again work to regain everything. He can do it. But that he is wailing and suffering, the stress he is under, is it not he is under great stress in that condition? I would like to say that the stress is caused not by whatever has happened in the past. but by the non-readiness of his mind to accept whatever has happened in the past. Non-readiness of his mind to accept because whatever has happened in the past, first of all, you have to accept. By non-accepting, what can you do? You cannot walk back in time, can you? You can do again. And you have to, you can regain everything in the best possible manner when your mind is free of stress, when the mind is peaceful, when the mind is not agitated, not under stress. Is it not? Is there any doubt about it? The mind is most efficient when it is free of stress. Even the scientist, for years he has been working on a problem, but the real solution dawns one fine morning when he gets up from a good sleep, because the mind is free of stress. And the solution dawns in his mind. So, if he has to regain, if he accepts the situation that, well, it has happened, what can I do? I have to accept. The moment his mind becomes ready to accept the situation, the stress is gone. He will be absolutely free of stress. Sudden a peace will dawn in his mind. You are not accepting. Suppose the external situation I am comparing with a sannyasin like us, monk. In his case, he has left his job, he has left his property, if he had, he has left his relatives, he has left everything he had. He is also standing on the street, and that day he is happiest. Externally, the two situations are the same. One has lost everything against his will, and he is not able to accept the situation. The other has willfully left everything, and so that situation is the happiest for him. So is there anything to do with the situation, or it is all to do with our mind? Now you have understood. So can we not accept whatever has happened? By not accepting, we don't gain anything. You cannot walk back in time. So whatever happens, the moment we accept it, we are in a placid state, and in that state, if any solution has to be worked out, that will be the best possible solution. If the mind is under stress, the solution will be right in front, we will miss it. So what have I written here? Acceptance puts the mind in its most efficient state. Surrender and acceptance are the same. Now, why surrender suddenly I brought in? What is surrender? Surrender means to understand that whom we are calling the providence or the God, he is doing everything. Now, if we have faith in the omniscience, omnipotence and omnipresence of God, then whatever happens, it is done by God for a devotee. And those who are knowledge oriented, for them it is the nature which is doing. In an accident, say aircraft crash or naval accident, 1,000 people died and 5 people survived. We always say 5 survived by the grace of God. We never say that the 1,000 died because of grace of God. It is our partiality, it's not God's partiality. God looks at destruction and creation in the same manner. If we want the godliness, which we are actually, we are not accepting it, then we should be able to accept everything that is happening in the world. It is created by God. The grace is found in everything. Thank God that God does not have a constricted intelligence like us. His vision is much broader than what we have. If God had to behave like us, then nobody will die. Will you be able to live in this world? If all people who had got born, they are all living even now, what would be this? God is much more intelligent than us. So He graces by killing people also. Whatever is done. So the surrender is actually, we come to know that the whole nature is functioning in its own manner, that by the providence or by nature itself it is functioning. So, my body-mind personality is also a product of nature, is it not? So, whatever I think I have done, I am doing, I have to do, it is all done and not done by the apparatus created by nature. I have no role there at all. The nature is functioning through the body-mind personality. The real I, that which we know in Samadhi or otherwise, which I have been discussing about, is the witness of the whole phenomena that is taking place in nature. If you can somehow, sitting in meditation, disassociate yourself from the body-mind personality, there are many verses in Ashtavakra also. When we are able to disassociate with the body-mind personality, we will see that the whole nature is functioning through the, we say three gunas, but whatever, whether you say three gunas or by its own forces, doesn't matter. And the product of nature, which is so-called my body-mind personality, is also as a part of nature. It is, the phenomena is going on. I am only a witness of the phenomena, nothing else. This witness never undergoes any change, never gets affected by anything happening in the phenomenal world. It is only a witness. So, you will accept your body-mind personality also being part of the nature, is doing everything what is being done. So, you don't miss the soul, you don't miss the Atma, you don't miss anything. Your body-mind personality goes on functioning in the world. If you have purified that body-mind personality by your sadhana, then it will do only good work. It will be auspicious for the world. So, this surrender is also, next sentence is the test of surrender. That is, why am I saying, people say that I have surrendered to God. Actually, in most of the cases, we will find that the surrender is not true. They are deceiving themselves by saying that surrendered to God. Actually, they surrendered to their own wishes, their own desires, and say that I have surrendered to God. The test of surrender should be there, that have I surrendered or not. If you have surrendered, then there cannot be any complaint at all. Now look into your own mind and find out whether there is complaint or not. How can there be complaint? Whatever is happening, it is by the grace of the God, it is by God only. If you have surrendered, then we should be able to accept whatever is happening at home, by our children, or in the office, or in the world, war or peace or anything. There cannot be any complaint at all. This is the test of surrender. And test of surrender really comes only when God descends in the form of a guru. Only when take to a guru. Because so far you were doing whatever you wished and you thought that I am doing the God's wish. When the guru tells you to do something against your wish, then you will not be able to accept it. No, he doesn't know. He is a sannyasin. He will not know how to live in the world. So let him say, I will do this. The real test of surrender comes only in front of the guru. Because God doesn't speak. You will make God speak whatever you want. And those who are more inventive, they will go to the temple or in front of the murti and say that God asked me to do this. They will hear the voice coming from there. He asked me to, like Hitler and all. Hitler was a Vedantin, do you know? He had read. He was a lover of Upanishads. Anyway, when we put our knowledge into practice, then only everything is caught. So, this surrender, I have written there, is key to Samadhi in meditation, key to the highest sukha, the sahaja state or sahaja Samadhi we call, realization that we are always surrendered. This sahaja state or the highest sukha I am saying, when knowing the truth, the person becomes absolutely natural and sane. He does, like a child, whatever to be done. It is called Sahaja Samadhi state. He doesn't have to practice Samadhi separately or meditation separately. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhaya. Whatever he does, because there is no desire, there is no other constricted thinking, nothing. Whatever comes to be done, he comes in a simple manner. That is the ultimate state I just mentioned. The other, in the Samadhi state, in the case of Samadhi, those who are trying to attain the highest state in meditation, for them, why are they not able to have? Because of lack of surrender. That we want to see the self. Is it not? We look within. Those who are doing the Vedantic meditation, they want to discover the self or the Atma. And we want to discover that Atma. So when we are looking within, oh, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the buddhi, I am not the emotions, then who am I? Oh, where is that I coming from, I coming from? That means in our tendency we are trying to look at the I as something different from me, is it not? Our tendency is always to look at the world, look at the objects as different from me. But here is a state where we have to look into our own self. But the tendency to look for something different from me deceives us. As long as you have that effort to discover the self, you will not be able to. Because the tendency to discover something different from me will make the self a non-self. You want to see the self as non-self. So you have to become effortless. Effortless means you have to surrender to the ultimate power, that I don't know how to go where and where I have to go. Oh Lord, you take me wherever you want. If you take me to death, I am ready to embrace death also. Wherever you feel like you do. And become absolutely effortless. No effort. Then the world will be forgotten. Yourself, you as a personality will be forgotten. The truth will reveal. So there also the surrender plays the ultimate game in discovering. And finally, we find that we are always surrendered. We don't do the body-mind personality is part of the nature, it is playing its own role. I am the witness, I am never connected to it at all. So what is to be surrendered? We are already surrendered. The body-mind personality is a part of nature. It is playing the nature forces. I have nothing to surrender at all. And what is there to surrender? Because I am only the witness of the whole phenomena. Now, up to this, we have some questions. Further, whatever is there, I will stop now about. I don't know, while speaking certain things which have come out of my mouth, they are of very, very elevated, lofty thoughts. But if you have been able to grasp it to some extent at least, it will do a great job, because people are given to lot of misconceptions, misapprehension about this spiritual sadhana. The sadhana is simply to become purer and purer, expansive and more expansive, more loving, more embracing, more sacrificing for everybody, not thinking who is mine and who is not and at all. To get over the sense of me and mine is the sadhana, to become universal. So this, I think, is the first time I have spoken in this manner as it came out today. So somewhere somebody will be benefited, must be. Rajeshwaran, if human being is able to achieve full happiness, do they not fear of full happiness? Do they not fear? See, fear of death cannot be there. Once you understand what is death, there will not be any fear of death. there will not be any special attraction for death also. So he will not commit suicide. In our Shastras, the suicide is called, all of us are called Atmaha. Atmaha means those who have killed their Atma. That means all of us have committed suicide. Why? Because we don't know our Atma. Not knowing the real state of the Atma, we are living the life. So have we not, is equal to kill the real Atma and thinking ourselves to be small. So all of us are called Atmaha in the Shastras. So fear of death will not be there. Do we need a human birth to be self-realized? You don't need self-realization, you are not a human. The cat doesn't have to be self-realized, it is happy by its own nature. The tiger also is perhaps happy with its own nature. Self-realization, the topic has come up in human mind. So we have to define what is self-realization, what is self, what is God. Even God also, we don't know whether the cat thinks of God. It's human word, created by the humans. So everything we discuss is only applicable for the humans. But the emotions which we have, we can to some extent transmit it to the animals also. We won't call it self-realization, but we can make the cats also becoming universal. We have found that if you try to make, they are otherwise very selfish about their own kittens and all, but if we try to make them, we have found that they become Jagat Janani. Jagat Janani means the mother, universal mother also. So that kind of a change is possible. But they are not worried about self or self-realization. It is only the human beings who are worried about it. The bliss is experienced in deep meditation in the absence of the body-mind intellect. No, you cannot say in the absence of the body-mind intellect. The question of bliss comes when you have a body. If you don't have a body, even there is no question of anything. But in the bliss, you don't feel the body-mind personality. That individual, segregated individuality is not felt. And in the real experience, it is the consciousness which reveals itself. That is beyond bliss. It is not the bliss. As long as bliss is there, the body-mind personality is involved. The feeling of ananda will be there. But in the self-experience, finally, it is the consciousness which reveals the whole external world, which reveals the internal world of thoughts and emotions. It reveals itself also. If suppose something else was revealing the consciousness, then that would have been the consciousness. The revealed thing is an object before that. The revealer is the subject. So there is no question of who is experiencing the self. The self only reveals itself. That's all. Answered. So we will stop with that. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Hari.